There are two types of people on social media. The first type uses social media to scroll, entertain themselves, and learn stuff. This kind is dumb. You don't want to be this kind. If you want to do those things, do them on YouTube. YouTube is amazing for that. But there is a second type of person on social media as well. This type of person goes on social media to build an audience, to monetize that audience, and to create a business that gives them freedom and, a cool life. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what is the path between you and, this so desired freedom. I'm not going to promise you any amount of money that you're going to make, because that very much depends on your own business skills. It's not just a random number I can slap and be like, oh, you'll make $100,000. That's not how this works. But if you work hard, you can get. But if you do what I say and do it correctly, you can create an account on social media, start building a brand, and start helping people. And if you are already helping people, asking them for money is just one extra step that you need to take. And if you have people who want your help, then asking, and if you want people who want your help, then making money from that point forward is exceptionally easier, not easy. And when you have people who want your help, then making money is simply a matter of time. And when you have people who want your help, making more money is simply a matter of time. So stick with this. It's not going to be as easy as everyone makes it to be, but this is a realistic look on what you're supposed to be doing and how to actually scale on real business from that. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jordan Parker. I spent the last 2 years helping creators online to build their businesses, and now I'm teaching you how to do the same. If you have a few minutes, stick around and learn with me. Otherwise, use the link below and join my emails, where I'll teach you a lot of the same things, but in a written, more convenient and pocket-friendly format. Okay, so we're in the whiteboard right now. We're going to define the business as 3 separate phases. So this is going to be phase 1, and we're going to just cheat and copy this twice to get our 3 phases. Perfect. All right, so we have phase 2 and phase 3 that you're going to get to in a few seconds. For phase 1, we have create demand. The first thing that any business needs, if you are going to actually make money off of it, is you need people to want what you have. Otherwise, you don't have a business. If people don't care about you, you don't have a business. That's how it works. So, step number 1, you want to create demand. So how do you do this specifically? You pick a social network. I would go with Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram, or Threads, whatever. Pick one of the big social networks. Combine that with YouTube. Social network plus YouTube. Why are you doing YouTube and the social network? Because the social network allows you to have conversations, which YouTube does not allow you to do. On social media, you can send DMs. On YouTube, you can't do that. That's a big problem and a big negative part of YouTube. But on the other side of things, social media posts are not indexed on Google. They're not searchable. No one searches on social media to get all of their news, at least not a massive enough amount of the population for this to make sense. We have some people looking on Instagram, have some people looking on TikTok, but it's still far, far, far away from what the actual traffic is that's happening on Google is. Like, we have billions of people searching every day on Google. We have millions of people searching on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So there is a massive difference there. And we want to use that to our advantage. So in this case, the social network is for organic reach and for DMs, to have the conversations in those DMs. And YouTube is for our reach in terms of search engine optimization and people finding you. The goal is people find you on YouTube and then they go to your newsletter, or people find you on social media and go to your newsletter. Sometimes people will do both. They'll find you on Instagram, then find you on YouTube, then do newsletter, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, you want to start with a social network. You pick one and then add YouTube to that. YouTube is kind of necessary. Don't worry, even if you're introverted, if you're super ashamed of your face and your voice, whatever, use AI if you have to. Like, there's so many ways you can avoid that. You can hire an actor, but my suggestion is do it. Like, it doesn't matter. No one cares how you look. No one cares how you speak. You can make content, and if you're helpful to people, this content is gonna get views because people just want the help, and it doesn't matter how you look or how you speak. Anyway, next, we want people to want our stuff. We can't sell on YouTube or on the social network. I'm not a fan of that. It is possible, but it is not super effective. Why? Because when people open up Instagram and they grab their phone, they're like, oh, I want to scroll for a little bit. They're not there to buy stuff, even though they do buy stuff. Believe me, there's a lot of ads relying on exactly that, but people do not enter Instagram with that intention. And because of that, selling on Instagram to people who don't have the intention of buying is very difficult. And the same goes for Twitter, for LinkedIn, for whichever social network you want. It applies there because people open that to relax, not to buy stuff. That means selling them your stuff is going to be hard there. Same thing on YouTube. People want to learn stuff, people want entertainment. They're not there to buy. Anyway, the point is, because people are not in a state of buying, what we want to do is we want to take them to a place in which we can warm them up to the idea of buying. We don't want to sell them immediately. We don't want to marry them on the first date. We want to sell them in time, gradually. So we take that and lead that to an email list. Now, email lists can be very complicated. There can be a lot of stuff to be said about how to write good emails, but the simplest thing you can do is just tell your stories from your day-to-day life. You don't need to be fancy, you don't need to be unique and amazing. Just tell them how are you doing your business, what are you actually doing to help them more. And if you are actually focused on helping your audience, you will have a bunch of stories on how you're trying to help your audience more. Just tell those. It's that simple. And when you make something that you sell, we'll get to that part in a second, you simply mention it. That's it. You should offer it directly as well. Yes, in every email, I personally end it with an offer. Hey, do you want this thing specifically? This is very, very useful. This can increase your conversions. But even if you just mention the stuff that you made, you can still make money. That's not a very little of it. Cool. So this is step number one. It is not terribly difficult. You create a lot of content on those two social networks and you talk to people. And by talk to people, I mean build genuine connections and relationships. It's not about you posting and then leaving. The point is you want to add to the conversation. You want to have conversations with them. You want to be there and part of the whole community and the whole thing that's happening there. You're not just there to drop your content. And the most important part of those conversations, the part that I am most active in, because you won't see me commenting around on the timeline mindlessly, because I don't already have a long list of people I want to work with. I send messages. I talk to them in DMs. Like I am chatting with them and seeing how they are, how their lives are, and basically being there as help for whatever problems they have related to creator income. And because I'm there, when they have a problem with their creator income, they come to me because I am top of mind. They think of me when they think creator income. Easy. It makes sense. But that doesn't happen when you open their DMs and immediately pitch them. No, the point is you open their DMs and act as a human, and then you escalate from there. You basically need to set the premise, hey, I am here to run a business, and make that clear. You don't want to spend hours and hours helping them for free. That's not how it works. They won't buy because they're thankful. They will buy because they need you, and they will need you if they don't have your help. So you're there, you show that you know what you're talking about, but you're not actually helping them for free. You can help a little, obviously be human, use common sense, but at the same time, your goal is to be there and show them that the way to help is buying and not that you're there to just answer all their questions. And this is a mistake that I did a lot, by the way. Like initially, I was very overzealous of helping people no matter what, which can be a problem. You have to put limits, otherwise it's unfair to your customers. If my customers are paying me to help them and I'm helping for free at the same time, their money is worth the same amount as the free help I'm giving, which is just not fair. This is something that personally bugs me. Next, once you have some conversations, you will usually slowly, start learning how to convert those to actual money conversations and to actually get some money from people. The first few times you can offer your help for free, fine, that's okay. That can be useful to get your foot in the door if that's your approach. If you're too scared, if you're not confident enough, do that. But you can ask for money day one as well. That's perfectly fine too. But the point is, once you start asking for money, and getting people saying yes to that, which can take a while. Don't be alarmed if you need to send 5,000 DMs to get your first client. That's normal. People need a lot of time to actually trust you, and you need a lot of time to actually learn the skill of sales. It is not something that's trivial. But let's say you send those 5,000 DMs, you get your first client. Amazing. Now we get to step number 2, which is create supply. So we want to supply people with something. We want to help them in some meaningful way. The goal of this relationship is that they need to be better off because of the relationship. And if they are not going to come again and just stay as clients. So you want to supply them with something that assumes you have some sort of a skill. Frankly, no one cares about what kind of skills you have because the skills by themselves are useless. And you package that skill into a solution. You want to solve a specific problem with your skill. and people pay for their problems being solved. So you don't just design stuff, you make websites that are optimized for conversions and are also pretty. You don't just write stuff, you write SEO optimized blog post articles that can rank and then scale the person's business. The thing is, people have their problems and they need solutions to their problems. They don't just want a random bunch of skills to buy. So what you need to do is you need to talk to them. Again, we're coming to that part, for the first part, which is you're talking to people, because people come first, always. You talk to them, and because you talk to them, you understand their problems. Because you understand their problems, you can then start creating solutions to those problems using your skills. Now, once you have those solutions, this is something that you can actually sell successfully, because if you just sell your skills, you're going to be very, very inefficient. Like, yeah, sure, sometimes people will pay you for them, but usually people will want more. They want something that is bugging them to stop bugging them. They want something that's wasting time to stop wasting time. They want something that is not making them money to make them money. You get the idea. So we want to package our skills into a solution. This is what usually is referred to the offer. So the offer, and an offer is just an invitation for somebody. Hey, would you like to? And then you invite them out for beers, or you invite them to help them out with whatever problem they're struggling in the online business context. And this works perfectly fine. It doesn't need to be complicated. It can be super simple. And don't worry about being unique. This is one of the biggest mistakes you can hit here. You will try to be unique and unseen and very, very new. No, you actually want the opposite. You want an offer. You want to solve a problem that a bunch of people are solving. Because finding a problem that the market as a general wants solved and is ready to pay for is hard. And if you just try to guess that because you have a cool new idea, you're very, very likely to fail. And if you fail, that means that you're going to spend weeks or months selling something that nobody wants, and you'll waste a lot of time. This is very, very hard and not very fun. So I don't suggest that. Just take something that works and do that. It's fine if 1,000 people sell it as well. You're not going to be, unseen because of that. You will have a tiny audience and you'll be the best person they know for that specific activity. That's good enough. You don't need 5 million clients. You can start with one, and that's okay. Now, what happens then? Because this is just the first step of creating supply. Step 2 is actually making whatever you're offering good. Because when you start, you will have a bunch of things that you think people need, and they will need a bunch of things that are absolutely not the things you thought they need. This is very normal. Because what happens is that you think, hey, I will help this, and that, because those are the things that I care about. And then you go to somebody, they're just a different person, and they have a different requirement and different needs in their life, and they simply don't want what you offer. So you have to adapt your offer to them. You do this once and twice, 3 times, 5 times, 15, 50, up to 100, 1,000 times, and then eventually your offer becomes, something that's good out of the box. You can go to somebody, say, I'll do this for you, and you just go through the steps and they're happy at the end. But this is not something that just happens. This is something that you earn in time as you slowly and steadily just repeat this offer many times. You do it for a bunch of people, and then eventually you get to something that's usable and packageable and easy to sell and easy to deliver. This is necessary. And it doesn't matter how you actually deliver what your help is. It doesn't matter if it's a digital product, if it's a service, if it's a community, whatever the case. I call all those products, by the way, but whatever the case, you want to actually go through this many, many, many times until it becomes good. Early on, it's going to be very, very bad. It's going to be shit. That's normal. That's very, very normal, because no one knows what other people want. Believe me, like in game design, I've seen a group of expert game designers, like, I don't know, 50 years combined experience. They make the perfect game design, the perfect idea for something that is going to be super fun. They give it to gamers and they hate it because it was not that good of an idea. It sounded good in theory, it was amazing, but in practice, no one actually wanted to play it. The same goes with products and offers and everything. You can have the best idea and it can make all the sense in the world, but it doesn't matter if no one wants to actually pay for it. So we want to start with the audience and see what they need and actually serve them better and better over time. And finally, once you do this for, some time, you'll discover something else. It sucks doing this by myself. I have so much work. I am not actually free because, I have all this work and I need to do it all the time. So this is where you create scale. This is the final part. This is where you can use, first of all, you can use skills. You can use AI, and you can hire. So you can use skills, you can get better, and as you become better, you can scale your operation. If you create designs, and if one design takes you a day, you can take, I don't know, 30 customers. If your one design takes you half a day, you can get 60 customers. So the better your skills get, the more people you can take, the bigger your business can actually scale to, at least theoretically. But this is obviously capped. You have that many hours in the day, and using all of those and kind of trying to shove more and more and more clients, we will eventually end in something called diminishing returns. Means you do it more, but you get less and less and less. And this is very normal with your skills. You're not going to be able to scale on just those forever. So you need external help. You need something else. The easiest thing to do right now, and the best opportunity right now, is just use AI. Just use AI can sound very easy, but if you have a good system, which you probably are better off paying someone like me who's a nerd engineer to build it, but if you have a good system, you can actually use that system to save you actual time every single day. This can be very useful because it can take a lot of the activities that have 17 steps and reduce them to 5 steps. That gives you more mental clarity and more time to actually do what matters and the things that you are irreplaceable at, which is exactly what you want. But this is also limited. Like AI needs a lot of maintenance and a lot of work to actually be as high leverage as it sounds. Like it's not something that you just slap on and it just does the work magically for you. There is more to it. And obviously in like 5-10 years, it's going to be much, much better. But at least for 2025, this is not the case yet. So what you do is you hire people. And hiring people, you can start with just simple VA that just helps you with the stuff that you don't want to do. But you can actually scale this. You can hire a media team. You can hire people that actually do sales for you. You can hire people to help you with products. You can hire people to help you with sales pages. You can hire people for just about anything. And early on, you hire them as freelancers, but later on, you might even choose to get them on a full-time contract, which just reduces the complexity to your business and makes everything more stable. And you can even hire somebody to hire people for you. And the more people you hire, even though that's a little bit scary, the more people you hire, the further away you move from operations and day-to-day work, and the more freedom you actually acquire back. So what's happening is that a lot of the freedom will not come at the first stage. When you're creating demand, you'll be bustling, like you'll be working a lot, you'll be talking to people nonstop. You need to make a name for yourself, so to speak. So you're not free. You have more work than any 9 to 5. So this is not a good replacement for a 9 to 5 short term by any measure of the imagination. Next, as you're creating supply, now you're actually making some money, and you can make good money. You can make more money than most 9 to 5s. It's going to be more stressful. It's going to be more work, but you can make a good amount of money. You won't have time to spend it, but you can make a lot of money. But as you're creating supply and making things better and getting, better relationships with your customers and making those longer term relationships as you're getting clients, then, things are looking very well, but you're still overworked as hell, because this is how it works. You work quite a lot. And finally, once you start thinking about scale, which, by the way, those things do not happen sequentially. You first start with the demand. Yes, this is the first thing that you need. Otherwise, you can't have a business. But everything else kind of happens at the same time, a little bit at once. You just want to start with the demand first and then still start the other ones at some point later. By the way, that really applies to actually selling stuff. You can create the demand for something before even building it. That's usually a much smarter way to do it. As you actually start scaling, this is when you actually become free. This is where you have enough leverage to actually exit the business to a big extent and let other people run it. My suggestion is scale slowly. It's very easy to just overhire and get a bunch of people early on. It feels like the hack to everything, and it feels like you'll be free. You actually get more work than you think, because training people is not easy. Hiring people is not easy. Those are skills that you probably do not have unless you practice them for a few years like I did. And if you don't have them, give yourself time. Don't rush to hiring 15 people. If you want to start and get the maximum amount of leverage very fast, find a business partner and hire them. And they can help you hire the rest, people with experience with hiring, people with experience in running teams, people with experience running projects. They can help you with this. And by the way, this is what me and my partner, who is an ex-CEO, we do this for our highest ticket clients because they don't want to deal with that part of their business. So we deal with that part for them. The thing is, when you're scaling, you want to focus on doing it slowly and well, instead of just scaling as fast as humanly possible, because if you scale too fast, you're going to suffer a lot. Like, it's not fun to overgrow your team, because if your team is too big and you can't make payroll, you need to fire people, you need to take loans, you need to do a lot of stuff that you won't really like. If your team is too small, you can always get an extra freelancer to help you for a few weeks. It's just night and day when you compare those. So be careful what you're doing. You don't want to scale too fast. Again, very, very, very important. If you're in this stage yet, be careful. Don't overhire people. Take it slow and don't make the beginner mistake that everyone makes. Everyone wants to scale as fast as possible because it sounds cooler to have $1 million company, the $100 million company or whatever. But if you make 100 million per month and your profit is 50K per month, then it doesn't make any sense because it's not about how much you earn as revenue. It's about how much income you have, and your revenue is not income. So focus on a business that is lean, because lean businesses generate more income, and then find smart ways to scale that. For those smart ways, obviously you join creator income. Every sane person does that, but you get the idea. So yeah, this is the whole picture. It is a process that takes a while. You'll probably need at least a year to actually set this up and get to a reasonable income. That's why I suggest doing it while working full time and just learning how to manage your time well enough so you can actually do it on the side. But if you're dead set on, just going full all in, do that, but plan at least 12, preferably 24 months, so you have enough time to actually build this. And actually be ready to work really hard, because this is not as easy as many people make it seem. There is no COVID to help you right now. People are not staying and spending all of their time at home on social media. People are actually working, they're busy, and you actually have to give them something of value so they want to stick around with you. So focus on building you first, the person who has that value, the person who can help people, and then focus on finding the perfect audience that you can actually help, and then do everything else. And once you have the audience in you, then the rest can happen much faster. And it's just about getting used to selling stuff and so on. See ya.